What is up, Frat Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video. We are cranking on this car, like literally late nights, work, late nights, cranking, okay? What I did last night after I got done filming, which is let my footage render and come out here and do more work, is I got new door rubbers installed on the doors. I got the new door outer window seals installed. Calvin has the window felts, so he's bringing those down. Also, y'all are asking about the hood. This is the original hood for the car. It had some rust right here that we didn't want to fix. Okay? It's blown through the hood frame. Fortunately, Charles knew a guy who had a 79 RX-7 hood. And you're going to be like, how do you just have that hood laying around? It actually had every bolt broke off in it. So to most people, it's unusable because they're not going to drill that out and try to fix it. But the hood was in perfect condition. Calvin, being the master wizard, got all the bolts out, broken ones without messing it up, and painted the hood. So he's bringing down a fresh hood for this car. He painted the bottom and the top. So literally, it's like everything but just the engine bay got painted on this thing. So it should look sick. In addition to last night, after y'all were edited, I dug out all the parts for this car. So today's goal is to get most of the dash built. So we're going to put the heater box, this guy goes in the middle. We're going to put the AC box, this guy goes next to that guy. And we're going to put the blower motor in, get that stuff mounted under the dash. Then we're going to assemble all the ductwork and install the main dash structure, which is this metal bar right here. Once I've got the dash structure in, which this is super easy because there's no windshield in the car, we're going to lay the rest of the wiring in there, and we'll get a majority of the stuff that needs to go up under this installed, okay? Reason being, and reason why I'm not going to be able to get it running in this video, or don't want to, we might try to start it at the end of the video. Why not? I can smoke the shop out before I go to bed. Is I need to get the heater core in it, and we need to put coolant in it and make sure that it doesn't have a coolant seal leak, or make sure that it doesn't have just coolant leaks everywhere, and that the water pump works and everything. Fortunately, for us in this exact situation, there is nothing on this car, literally nothing. I would challenge somebody to find something on here that if it broke between now and Deal's Gap, that I couldn't replace with what I have here at the house. I have a few complete RX-7s to take parts from, and a lot of the things that we would need are things I can replace on those other cars, so I can just go steal them and stick them on here. So fortunately, whenever I got into RX-7s and started working on these cars, and I had just my silver one, people were coming out of the woodwork to sell me RX-7s for cheap because they were in their way. So I bought a bunch of them. I have a bunch of these things laying around. No, none of them are for sale. I already sold the only car I was going to sell, which was the rally car. So that's that. We're getting this thing fixed, and I'm excited. The other thing that's real inconvenient is that the door handles aren't on this car. So I'm probably going to put the outer door handles on because it's real hard to reach in here and get the door. Also, this door doesn't creak. How about that? All you got to do to fix that, guys, lubricate this spring deal right here, which you probably can't see it because it's light, but the spring-loaded deal, when it rolls across that roller, which is what actually holds the door in position, that part, when it breaks over the, there's like ridges on it, right? When the roller breaks over the ridge is when it creaks it and then breaks over it. So take care of that. Because this thing, with these new door seals, guys, you got to like cover your ears. You got to shut the door. Like you mean it. And this might need adjusted a little bit. I think this door is sitting up a little high. So Calvin can fix that for me. But anyways, that's where we're at. So let's get to installing this dash and getting all this stuff in. And one last thing before I go get into that, I'm probably going to start the music right now. Anyways, any how-to that you guys want to see on this car, go look on the channel, because I've rotisserie restored a first gen RX-7 rally car. Those of you guys that were here to watch all of that last year, thank you guys very much. We've grown a ton since then. So I restored a rally car, a full-blown race car RX-7. Every inch of it we touched made it perfect. And I got how-tos on crank windows, this, key, wiring, everything for that car. So go check that stuff out if you got questions. And if you can't find an answer in those questions, comment below and I can quickly make a how-to video or make sure to include it in the next one. Remember guys, if you break a door handle, you can use it on the other side of your car until you break both ears off. See, this one was the driver's side, they got broken coming out. You can use it on the passenger side. There's a video I got explaining how to install these. Go check it out before you destroy all the door handles for RX-7. Alright guys, break in the action. We've got a whole lot of work done. Albeit, it looks like just the dash structure is in. But, we're sitting on carpet, guys. Real carpet. Wanted to show you a few things. Just a few tips and tricks while we're here at kind of the break point before I get the rest of this put together so we can drive this thing. On an SA, your dash structure, which is this piece here, the big brick of metal right here, goes in separate from the dash pad, okay? If you try to put it all in as one piece, which you can, it will go in as one piece. It's just a really kind of a pain in the butt to get this deal here, and this stuff lined up. Your dash pad will mount like here. There's a couple bolts right on the front, and then really there's just these two, and this one. Those are really the only like hard to get dash pad mounts. Once you get that dash pad out of there, you can access everything behind here if you need to get in here. Most of the time though, on an SA, unless you're replacing the heater core, you really won't need to get this far into it. You can pretty much access everything from the bottom. Your adjusters here, there's a cable that goes to this side. That's the one that comes from the bottom. That cable operates the hot and cold. It opens a valve in the heater core to let hot water through it. The upper one, there's two cables. You have a long cable that goes all the way down to your blower motor. Okay, that controls the recirculation part. And then you have another cable that goes down to the right side of the heater box up in here, and that controls the diverter, so vent, defrost, etc. That piece is pretty easy to get in there. Those things, you slide the eyelet off, pop it out of its little sleeve socket. It's like clamped in. The next bit, getting your steering column in here. The steering column actually mounts to this dash structure. It pinches the dash structure to the pedals. So if you want to take your pedals out of one of these things, like you're doing auto to manual swap, you've got to drop the steering column so you can get the pedals out from underneath it. Kind of a pain in the butt, but if you want to do the pedal swap, you don't have to take the dash out. I've been editing this out, but I've been sneezing like crazy. Glove box light, glove box sensor, or the off-on switch. You've got the blower controls over there. This group of wires, the longer one from the middle, is all your switches. So your antenna up and down, your defrost switch, and what's the last one? Is the last one... The last one's not the fuel popper, is it? Is it the fuel popper? The fuel door on a 79 is actually a key. The last one would be your headlight up-down. That's these three big plugs. The other two here are your cigarette lighter. These two are for the radio. You have one that controls the fan switch here, which is also sometimes the AC button as well. And then this light, these two covers, this little light lights up the AC controls. Alright, so that's all the tips in regards to just things to look out for putting the dash in. Carpet. This is a universal, or I guess an RX-7 carpet kit. It is not cut to fit this car. It's largely too big. I had to slit the middle, trim the firewall down. I've got to now trim for this dash mount right here, and then tuck this back under the firewall. It does have breaks in the insulation here, so you can see where this form fits to the seat rail. You will have to cut holes for the seats to mount through here and here as well. As you can see, are formed into it. The back here is sticking up pretty tall, and that is because this car won't have bins. It will have covers that go here that are solid, and this carpet actually comes up those covers a little bit, and then the upper carpet overlaps it. So I'll trim that once we get those covers in, but we don't need to put the covers in till like the day before we leave for the Gap. Now that we've got the dash structure in, the next step is to unearth my somewhat mint dash from up here. It's better than the one I took out. We'll put the dash pad on. I'll get the vents hooked up. The cluster goes in after the dash pad. Once the dash pad is on, then I can go ahead and start putting the dash trim in. I don't think I have a center console radio bezel for this. So what I might be using, which it's somewhere around here, is I have a center console piece that I made for my silver car out of some sheet steel. I may just slap that in it for now. It's got 2 holes for gauges. We can put gauges in it down the road. But an original SA center console, like radio bezel, it's really hard to get, and I don't have a good one. So it's unfortunate. We could have got one from LRB Speed, but didn't get one. But that's the next steps. This is gonna get pretty much all put together. And I will say, dudes, if you can take your windshield out to do all this, makes it super easy. You don't hit your head on stuff. It's real easy to get to everything, especially like putting your defrost vents in. And once we put the dash pad in here, it mounts here, there, and you can just like, there's no glass in the way. I can just get to the bolts. So I'm fired up, guys, because that'll be good. Oh, let's see. What else is there? Yeah. A lot to do, so we're just going to keep doing. It's crazy that I had a bucket for exterior doors, bits, fenders, and then I had a little box here for interior stuff, and it's crazy that I know where everything pretty much goes. Good fun. We're going to continue on. Alright guys, it is the end of the night, and we made some mega progress today. Check this out. Look at that dash. We got the special 2-bar steering wheel. This is for the like base of base model GS's. It's the super cool wheel from the factory for an RX-7. I like the 2-bar wheel. I have one in my Repu. It's a vibe. It's like an OMP race wheel, or I guess you could say the OMP race wheel is like this. But actually, I think the OMP race wheel, like a flat bar rally wheel like that, came out before this wheel was in the RX-7. Anyways, the whole dash is in. Everything's buttoned up under the dash. I'm going to give a huge hope to that everything works and that I don't have to go in there and troubleshoot stuff. For example, the dimmer switch, for example, the trunk popper, gas gauge, temp gauge, all that stuff. Ideally, all that works. The next thing that's cool, teaching you guys stuff, okay? I'm going to learn you on early RX-7 AC systems. So when you have an early, like a 79 or an 80 RX-7, AC was an option, and it was also a dealer installed option, not a installed at the factory option. So there's a bunch of different ways that dealerships installed AC on these cars, and that kit changed throughout the years. This one has the early style AC box, so it's not like mine in my 80. The plastic of this box doesn't match the rest of them. And then also on my 1980, I have a button right here, and you push the button on the fan switch to turn the AC on. Now, this car doesn't have that button. What it does have is in your defroster, or like your defroster, your sliders here, your adjusters, there's a part on here that says max cold. You have like normal, and then there's a max AC cold switch, okay? When you go all the way to that max AC switch and you're in the cold setting, there's a micro switch down here on the side of this this little switch that you can't really see because it's buried up in there. But there's a micro switch that then kicks the compressor on, which is pretty freaking neat. So this is that old center console thing I was telling you about. I cut this thing out probably the first 3 or 4 months I had my first gen. So this would have been 8 years ago when I got the silver one, I think. My very first one. And I made this. I had an oil pressure gauge and a water temp gauge in here, and then my single DIN radio. So I'm going to find a single DIN radio to put in this car for now. And then I've got the piece from my silver car that fits up here. Is like mine, when I bought my silver car, it was all destroyed. The whole thing was cracked to smithereens. It was a big mess. So that's why I made this. And then in making this, because mine was cracked, I just cut the top of the heater control piece out, and it just rests in behind this, and you can still see it. It still just hangs out. It's not actually bolted. It just sits on these slider pieces, and you slide these, and it kind of wiggles a little bit. But it's not a big deal. I mean, you're not really messing with them that much. And I didn't have AC. I had all the AC stuff. I still have all the AC stuff. I mean, I still have that car. It's just super rusty. But anyways, I never used the AC. I never had it working, so I just drove with the windows down. But dang, guys, this thing looks good. I also found a not destroyed column cover here. The hazard switch is busted off on this car, which sucks. So don't push that in, because if you push that in, you're never going to get it back out unless you like drilled it and put a little screw in it. Hopefully the headlights work. I haven't put the battery in it. That's for the next video for me to find out tomorrow. Also, the carpet is fitted, and honestly, guys, I'm pretty happy with it. This is Auto Custom Carpets Incorporated is who made this. I have no idea what website that is. I'm going to assume that it's just that website. And I don't know how much they are, maybe 180 bucks. And this front half of the carpet fits really nice. Now, the rear carpet from this car was not in bad shape, so we're going to reuse the rear carpet. It's a little crusty, but it's not stained. It's not like gray from the sun. So we're going to put that back in here. It's easy enough to change. I just knew that with having the dash out, fitting new carpet would be way easier from right now than it would have been if we wanted to change it. And the old carpet that I pulled out was literally completely destroyed. So there's no getting around it. I also went ahead and installed the sunroof seal, and I installed the outer little door trimmer things here. So I still need to go through and clean this headliner. It's kind of a mess just from body shop dust and just from being an old car. And then I have somewhere the quarter pieces and the full rear interior. I think some of it's in my silver car, some of it's still up there. That stuff's pretty faded, so we may hit it with some if you've noticed in the background, I'm restoring an E30 dash for my buddy Ryan. It's his E30s. They're sitting out here, but I have some SEM vinyl paint up here. So if you've ever seen this, this is satin black SEM vinyl paint. This is what I found to match the factory E30 black as best as we could. We ordered like 3 different ones, and that's the best one we could find. And I think that SEM black on the back of this will look mint. I also dug out all the windshield trim. So these bits that go here, and from the factory, these are black as well. So we'll get these cleaned up and installed next week. I've got new clips for all of that as well. So those will be painted with, I think it's just the same brand. It's Sim Trim Black is what we used for that. So we didn't use Sim Trim Black for this, but if you go look at the rally car, when I did that on the rally car, that literally completes the car. When you've got it all done, and I'm not a big chrome windshield trim guy. If your windshield trim's still on your car and all the black's faded off and you just have the stainless, it's okay. It's just not for me. I like the black. I like it. It matches the doors. It just matches a lot better. So, and I got door handles installed, which you saw. So now I can open and close the doors. These rattle really gnarly right now. You'll hear this, the creak, when I shut it. That rattle is because there's no glass in there, and the window regulator is going all crazy, getting all disco. So the other thing, if you remember, this car, when I bought it, however many years ago, didn't come with keys. No, it's not stolen. Got it from the original owner. Nice old lady. I have the title and everything. Legal transaction, but she didn't have the keys for it. So I had cut the lock cylinder off the column. So I pulled a lock cylinder from one of my parts cars. So I need to get the driver door lock cylinder from the parts car, so that way we can still have the factory door key, which is the silver one, and use the gold one for the ignition, and then the silver key will work in this door, and then I'll swipe. The gas tank doors are all the same, so if you have a first gen key, any first gen key will fit the gas tank doors. But the hatch lock here, I want to get the hatch lock and the driver door lock out of that other car. Not too worried about the passenger door, which I guess I could get it. Might as well get it while I'm getting. I think I'm probably going to end up stealing the door panels off that car too, because these door panels are crusty. You can see one of them is right here. If the ISO goes bad or goes back, but they're like cardboard door panels wrapped in vinyl, and from this car got wet and nasty and all that crap on the inside at some point in its life, and it's not good. Door panels are wasted. So, but with that, guys, we made some heck of progress. I'm stoked. I still can't believe how good of a job Calvin did on this thing. It looks so good. It's gonna look so much better when the bright hood's on it and the wheels. And this is the other thing. DJ's gonna appreciate this, which he's not watching these videos. And this is one of my favorite parts about this car, in its factory spec. This car from the factory came with these steel wheels, okay? They would have been painted silver. And let me tell you, these steel wheels, if I can get this on here. Okay. Stay. The steel wheel, you can't even really get the feel for it with rally spec height and all that. That steel wheel painted silver, I have the original hubcaps, is going to be the look. So, kind of made a deal with Calvin / deal with myself. If we don't have to pull this engine out this weekend, and it's healthy and good, and it runs and quits smoking and does all that, then we're going to paint these wheels. And I had planned on putting waffle wheels on this car, which I don't know if I'd shown it in another video, but I'd kind of just done it. So I grabbed a set of my waffle wheels from out back and like kind of soda blasted / cleaned them up. I spent like a half hour, 40 minutes cleaning them up. We put brand new tires on them, and I still probably have a solid hour worth of work to get these waffles to look where I would want them to look to put on this car. And I think that that hour worth of work would be better spent at a minimum, just like quick scuff wire wheel all the steel wheels, rattle can them silver, and stick them on the car. Even if the paint flies off, it has to look good for Deal's Gap, and then DJ can fix it after that. So I'm thinking that's the move, because he wants to put the steel wheels on it anyways, so we're going to have to pack them in the car and take them with us, but might as well put them on the car, you know? And then I have a brand new spare, an original waffle wheel spare that I got from James Duncan, who actually watches these videos. It came from his car, and you know, maybe I should keep it. Or did I give him that spare back? Did I give you your spare back, James? Comment below. I think I gave him his spare back. Anyways, I have a brand new spare. Somehow I acquired a brand new spare, I'm pretty sure, but I don't think it's James' spare because we brought it back to him. But that's going to go in this car. It's a brand new wheel and a brand new tire that's like the factory one from Mazda, so it'll be super cool to have that with this as well. And then I don't know if I have a jack, an original jack for one of these to go in it. I know I do in my car, and I won't give it up, so I'll see if I have a jack laying around, but I don't know if I do. Anyways, it's definitely my bedtime, and I definitely need to go to sleep. And I appreciate you guys watching these videos. I'm amped you guys are enjoying them. It's not an FD. I know it's not as cool as an FD in like most people's, the normal person's opinion of an RX-7, but it's way cooler than an FD to me. And I love working on these old cars. They're super simple, and it's just a look, you know. It's like the Datsuns. These things are coming back. They're getting more expensive, and they're getting harder to get. And it's super cool to be putting together nice ones and to know about them, because you know, 3 or 4 years when y'all are needing these things restored, and I got my big shop going, and we got a full team of people, we can probably be pumping these things out pretty quick and building really nice first gens. And I think that's a, you know, it's not a super crazy whatever market to be in, but if you're really good at something, then might as well keep doing it, you know. So for that, I'm gonna let you guys go. thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to learn more about these cars, definitely check out other videos on the channel. If you want to learn about rotary engines, check out the other videos on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm so stoked. We've come a long way out of this little shop. And if you want to get a more direct line of conversation to me, check out the Patreon. On Patreon, I make videos for the guys on there, answering their specific questions about their specific builds. It's a great way. The community's small over there, so I can respond to everybody's comments and answer everyone's questions, and it's super great. And the support is much appreciated. So with that, guys, thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys in the next video. We're making it to Deals Gap. Keep it rad. I called the dog over here. She's been sleeping on the porch for the last... I mean, it's late, so it's past her bedtime too. And she takes off up in the woods, trying to find a rabbit or something. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right, Letty. Did you find your rabbit? Yeah? All right, Waffles, jump for Steelies. Come on. Come on. We really want Steelies. Everyone wants Steelies. There you go. Peace, guys.